Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Anime Reborn. In today's video, I want to showcase a team after several hours and several days of just testing different teams and different units. I finally figured out how to macro the ghost portals. It's been really challenging because of all the variables that come with the ghost tunnel portals. Things like, you get buffs and random debuffs depending on the portal. You get different challenges, so sometimes things cost more. You get enemies with all have shields, they regenerate. Sometimes they're times 2 speed, and then that's also to account for doing these runs. You end up with bosses that sometimes have 3 million HP, 6 million HP, or the enemies are sprinting down the stage. And when they're on times 2 speed, they go even faster. So it's been really tricky to try to find a team that kind of beats every scenario. But I think I finally found it. I've gotten consistent results with this team. And I actually have footage that you'll be seeing where the enemies are sprinting and they're on times 2 speed. So probably the hardest modifiers that you can get, and this team still wins. So I wanted to show you guys this team really quickly. Basically what makes it possible is, you gotta have, Rise is the one that makes everything possible. With her drop on the recent update, she actually makes everything possible. She was the missing link. Because of the crazy amount of extra buff between Yamo and Rise, giving COD his damage buffs. He does absurd damage, which really makes things great. But then in combination with Gohan and Noel, they basically keep the enemies that are moving fast in check, and it allows everything to come together. Because this portal is it's difficult because the waves go by quickly and you don't really get a lot of money to do a lot with, so you really have to make sure that you plan accordingly. But yeah, without rambling too much, we're going to jump into the gameplay, and I will give you guys a commentary step by step on how I set things up through each wave, so then you can be successful and set up a macro that can beat every kind of portal on repeat. Alright, so here we are. Just a few notes before the video starts. You'll notice on this screen, I just finished a wave, so this is generally where you want to start the recording of your macro. With this recent update, it must have broke something, because when you hit next, the menu that shows up to click the next portal is behind the victory screen. So I've found that if you just click if you click next, you'll see the window, and then you just click between the stars, and then in that black space, and you should click on a portal and then confirm, and it should start the wave. So here, it's really important that we do things wave by wave in a very specific order. So here, we want to start always by putting our speed cart down on wave 2. We have 800 and he costs 750. So we want to place our speed cart down, and right away you can see the enemies are coming in fast. So we're going to want to put our Gohan over here and put that down as soon as possible. Now I'm going to change the priority to my speed cart to 3, and on the next wave completion we get enough money but not enough to put another unit down, so I like to upgrade speed cart by 1, just so we can get the most efficiency out of our money each wave. So now the next wave comes, we're going to put COD down. And now we're back down to 777. So now the next important thing is to put down Noel on the next wave. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're also going to put Rise down. And now we're left with 795. Now you also, it's very important on wave 6 to auto level on speed cart. And then once you hit wave 7, you'll have enough money to put your second Noel down, because I have Paladin trait on her. So now we have 2 waves that are going down the lanes. and you have your Gohan. So those 3 on the back will help prevent any stragglers that get through the main barrage from Sid on the front. But also keep note that Null's waves are slowing down enemies, and they're allowing the enemies to take extra damage as well. So very important. And when Null defeats enemies, you're also getting extra money as well. So here we're just waiting to put down Yamo. So usually by wave 9 is when you'll have enough money to put Yamo down. So that's what we're going to do. You can see the enemies are moving extremely fast. That's because they have the sprinting enemies, but they also have the ×2 modifier. So this is the hardest form of portal you'll probably get. And you can see that this team handles them quite nicely. So here I have all the units down now. And at this point, once you put Yamo down, you basically just want to put the auto level enabled on COD or Sid. And then from here, you're just kind of waiting idly now. So you're just letting Speedcart continue to auto level up each wave. Make sure you put his priority to 3, so he gets priority when it comes to upgrading each wave. And then secondarily, you want to have Sid being auto upgraded after that. And then from here, you're basically all set up, and you basically just go all the way to wave 15. And by the time you hit wave 15, your Sid should be level or upgrade 9 out of 9. And then because Speed Cart becomes useless on the last wave, you want to sell Speed Cart and then put auto level on Rise, just to squeeze out any kind of extra damage you need. You'll see that all happen here right away. Also, one thing I wanted to talk about too is the timing of your macro. So because macros are good for content that doesn't have a lot of variables and doesn't change a lot, macroing something like these ghost portals can be tricky because there are a lot of variables and different scenarios that play out in each stage. So you really want to build a team and have a team composition and prioritize them in a way where it's going to defeat every scenario that these portals throw at you. So with the layout that I've done, it works in every single scenario, but you also have to understand that this is the quickest type of portal, whereas the portal that's going to take the longest is the boss with the 6 million HP. So you have to account for that extra time that the longest version of this portal is going to be. So what I like to do is when I'm ending my macro is once you beat the boss, you want to wait at least 30 seconds before you click on the reward screen. You'll see what I mean, but yeah, basically you want to give yourself that extra time at the results screen to make sure that if you do end up getting the portal with the 6 million HP boss, that you're going to give the macro enough time to finish up in the case that you get the longer run. So then once you end your macro, that macro will be able to defeat the fast stage, the normal stage, and the long stage all in one macro, if that makes sense. But yeah, you could see here that I completed it perfectly, and basically here is where I would end my macro. But like I said, just remember to give yourself enough time at the results screen to account for the longer runs, like if you get the 6 million HP boss. And then yeah, once you usually your macro should end around 7 minutes is good enough. And then yeah, from there you just restart your macro at this screen. It'll go through the whole process again. It should take about 7 minutes per run, and this is a great way to macro the ghost portals. You get a lot of souls this way, and you get a chance at getting Octarun as a secret unit. So hopefully this made sense. It's kind of hard to explain it all in one shot and in detail, but if you've been playing this game and you've been playing these portals and you have developed teams, I'm pretty sure you could follow along with a lot of what I was saying. and hopefully it makes sense. It's pretty easy to figure out. You just got to make sure that with content like this, where there's a lot of variables at play and you can have different runs that end at different times, you have to design your macro in a way that it's going to encompass all of the different scenarios. So try to make your macro always design your macro in a way that it's going to beat the longest run. That way, every run that's shorter is going to be completed within that macro. But yeah, give yourself that time. But you also got to make sure that you don't time out at the end too, because you only have, I think, 90 or 80 seconds, I think, to at the end, when you beat the stage, you only have like 90 or 80 seconds before it kicks you back to the lobby. So make sure you take those things into account. Make sure you take the longest run into account, which is the 6 million HP boss. But other than that, you guys just seen the run, in my opinion, the most difficult run, where the enemies are sprinting and they're on ×2 speed, and you've seen that this team was able to defeat them no problem. So if I were to get the 6 million HP boss, I would just make sure that I gave myself enough time at the end, and then that's when you end your macro and then let it restart from there. Okay guys, hope this helped. If you need any extra explanation, let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer you guys the best that I can. Okay, catch you later.